लोगों की सेहत को अपना प्रायोरिटी बना लिया है। और जानने के लिए 1855-308-0195 पे कॉल करें। That's 1855-308-0195.
Top of the morning, Bay, with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's Good Morning
Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आज भी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार,
वनकम,
नमस्कार,
खुशामदी,
सलाम अलैकुम,
सत श्री अकाल,
मीक अंदर की वंदनम,
जय स्वामी नारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण,
जय जनेंद्रा।
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोलते हैं या अली मदद,
मौला अली मदद बोलते हैं, सारी फीजे मतलब बोलेगा नीसा बोला बड़जान। हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारा। मैं से फालतू बाबा
and of course myself फालतू रानी लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time that's going to make it totally exciting and totally मस्तानी मधुजानी।
खुदा बंजान, of course आप लोगों को बोलते हैं कि आज of course is 23rd of September Madajan, and wishing everybody a very good morning. Joining us on Facebook as well, Baji namaste, good morning to you too, and everybody who actually joining us on Facebook, whichever part of the world you're joining us from, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for that Madajan. And abhi ke liye Fatwani, let's go check out what's happening on the roads. Kya bolte ho?
Yes,
and of course Banjan, we want to tell you guys a kind of I should say a thought that the traffic we share right now is for where we are located locally, Banjan, the Bay Area. If you want to know locations of what's happening on the traffic where you are, probably I don't know, in the Middle East, could be in Australia, could be in Singapore, you can give us a call here. We're definitely happy to share the updates for you guys for sure, क्योंकि हमें सभी जगह का जानकारी मालूम है। ये बच्चा बता नहीं पता तो यही का दूसरे रास्ते का हाल टोटल सस्ते में।
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
That's right, Banjan. Wherever you are, as we told you, you can give us a call here for sure. Again, 408-912-2479, Banjan. And news के बारे में और जानकारी मिलेगी आप लोगों को Banjan थोड़ी देर में, लेकिन उससे पहले आपको बोलने कि रास्ते का हाल में क्या हो रहा है वहाँ पे. There actually is a bunch of things happening on the roads, Banjan, because people are actually now getting on the roads more often, as in काम पे वापस जा रहे हैं. Yes, Banjan. Let's start from up north, San Francisco. A traffic accident on 280 northbound, on northbound ramp actually here on 280. This is actually intersection 280 and 101 in San Francisco. The left lane is blocked over there. Seems to be having a little bit of stop and go traffic there, but not much of a bottleneck, which is good in a way. And let's go further across. Let's go down. Let's come down towards south actually. San Mateo, two incidents very close to each other, Brajan. There actually is a collision. There's an accident on 101 northbound south of Peninsula Avenue. There's on northbound 101, and similarly there's an accident on northbound south of Door Avenue. It's like two exits from there, but the one on Door Avenue actually in San Mateo is a little bit severe because the traffic is affecting 3-4 lanes over there, Banjan, and the backlog is all the way down until goes further down. And let's see which exit's going to be there, Banjan. Give me just a few seconds. I will see if I can get the all the way until Cole Avenue. There actually is the blockage, as in stop and go traffic over there, Banjan. Now south, let's go come down south. 237 westbound east of Great America Parkway. There's a hazard reported there. Doesn't say what exactly it is, but the traffic is slow and go there, Banjan. East Bay, couple of things. One actually. Traffic accident on 818 southbound ramp to 238 actually. The right lane is blocked over there and the backlog is long. Now, a disabled vehicle is reported on 680 northbound near the Castlewood Drive in Pleasanton, not impacting traffic much, so that's okay. But coming back to 880, there's a hazard on High Street in Oakland. It is actually backlogged all the way until the exit only, but otherwise it seems to be the traffic is moving, Banjan. Anyway, it's a good thing for sure. And weather-wise, kya batao, Banjan? Kya batao aap logon ko? It's going to be a hot day. Don't go by how it was in the morning. Oh, nice and cloudy. Oh, wow, it's partly cloudy only. In fact, the whole day is going to be partly cloudy. It's not going to be all sunny and everything. Weekend is going to be nice. Friday, Saturday is going to be wonderful, Banjan. And we probably will have highs of 90. We will hit 90 for sure. It is a hot day, so probably hydrate is what I advise people, and stay indoors. And is there a spare day? I don't know. I confirm that to you for sure, Brother Jan. But that was your traffic update, right, Faltwani? What do you have as our news for today, Faltu?
Lots of news, Alto Baba.
Lots of news, Brother Jan. We're gonna go lots of news right now. Faltwani, let's take it away.
Well, Alto Baba, I am going to be taking that away in just a quick bit, but I know that some of our bandhus are joining us on Facebook. Do you wanna be able to wish all of them a very happy good morning?
Oh, sure, Faltwani. I'll buy you some time for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, Brother Jan, Vibaji already have good morning bol diya hai, and Faltwani wants to say good morning to more people who actually joined our Facebook page, like our Deepak ji and everybody else. So welcome.
Vishal ji, Deepak ji, nice to see you all joining us on Facebook. Thank you so much. My screen was refreshing, so there was something interesting that I was reading about, which I wanted to share with all of you. Because, there's this whole big new trend that has started with regard to people going lactose free. Have you noticed that?
Oh my God, people, they try to go vegan. Yes, I've seen that people do that. Why?
Yes.
Is it good or bad?
Well, some people were saying, there were studies at one point saying that yes, if you go vegan, it is good. But if you remember, when we used to speak with Dr. Ronnie Sinha, right? And he used to talk about why it's important to have to be able to eat or to be able to consume dairy fat, right? And healthy dairy fat. It is important because now there's a new study that has come out, Alto Baba, which is saying people with a higher consumption of dairy fat have a lower risk of cardiovascular disease.
No, really?
Yeah, than those with low intakes, according to research studying some of the world's biggest consumers of dairy products. An international team of scientists studied the dairy fat consumption of 4,150 60-year-olds in Sweden. This is the country with one of the world's highest levels of dairy production and consumption, right?
Okay.
So by measuring blood levels of a particular fatty acid that is mostly found in dairy foods, experts then followed the cohort for an average of 16 years to observe how many had heart attacks, strokes, and a series of other serious circulatory events, and how many of them actually died. After statistically adjusting for other known cardiovascular disease factors like age, income, lifestyle, dietary habits, and other diseases, researchers found that those with high levels of the fatty acid, indicative of a high intake of dairy fats, had the lowest risk of cardiovascular disease, as well as no increased risk of death from all causes. So it is healthy. So consume those healthy dairy fats, Banajan. Make sure that they are farm raised and they are organic. And definitely go ahead. If you'd like to read up on the story, I will share this on MediaMahima.com. This is a new news, that the article that's coming out from CNN.
Wonderful. So make sure that, as she said, farm raised. It also has to be something which actually is also grass fed. If you don't know what exact grass fed is, we can give you more information about that. In fact, go to our YouTube channel, Faltwani. They actually can go Google, or rather not Google, they can just search for the set of videos where we actually have our Health 360 videos where we're talking about these things. So just look up on our YouTube channel, Radio Hotties, and type in grass-fed milk, and automatically it'll pop up, Anujan.
Right, okay. Perfect. So please do look it up, Anujan, because we've got Health 360 segments on there too, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So please do look it up. Radio Day Hotties, RADIO DEHOTTIES on our YouTube channel. But let's go on over, Banajan, and let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the United States and across the country. Well, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is here visiting us.
Yeah, I know. Modi Sahab, namaste, kaise hain aap? I know he listens to our show when he comes ceremoniously. Very nice of him.
Well, he comes to visit us. Yeah, he comes to the United States, and now he's actually
meeting Bashar is just a bahana.
That's true. Actually, he wants to catch Radio D Hotties, but Modi Sahab, you can catch it even on the apps.
Yeah, now that he knows, he's happy.
Yeah, well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris today, and chief executives of several U.S. companies, including Qualcomm and Blackstone, two sources have said. At the White House meeting with Harris, Modi is expected to discuss the COVID-19 pandemic, greater cooperation in technology, space, and other sectors, and supply chain issues. The sources with knowledge familiar with this particular matter have said. Modi's 3-day Washington trip will be capped by a meeting meeting with President Joe Biden at the White House on Friday. Biden and Modi will also hold the Quad Summit with leaders of Australia and Japan, aiming to boost cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region amid China's growing dominance in the area. White House analysis says that wealthy Americans pay far less in taxes than others. The White House on Thursday published a new economic analysis that showed how the wealthiest of Americans pay far less in taxes than most other people, like you and me, in an effort to bolster President Joe Biden's push to increase taxes on the rich to fund his economic agenda. I'm sick and tired of the super wealthy and giant corporations not paying their fair share in taxes, Biden wrote on Twitter on Wednesday. He's pushing a $3.5 trillion bill that would expand federal efforts to fight climate change, reduce the cost of childcare, and decrease poverty by getting the super rich and corporations to pay more taxes. The White House analysis from two economists suggests that the wealthiest 400 households in the country, those with net worth ranging from $2.1 billion.
$2.1 billion. Please make a note. $2.1 billion.
And $160 billion pay an effective federal income tax rate of, guess how much, Altu?
2%.
No.
5%.
Better than that.
30%.
Just over 8%.
What?
Yes, per year on an average. So it finds that between 2010 and 2018, those top 400 households, when including the rising value of their wealth, earned a combined $1.8 trillion. They earned $1.8 trillion and paid an estimated only $149 billion in federal individual income taxes.
Wow.
Yes. So
it pays to be rich, in other words.
Yes, it does. It does. Well, speaking of that, the two top Democrats in U.S. Congress announced a revenue deal on Thursday that they said would pay for President Biden's social spending agenda, marking a major step forward in their effort to enact sweeping legislation. The White House, the House, and the Senate have reached agreement on a framework that will pay for any final negotiated agreement. So the revenue side of this, we have an agreement on, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said at a press conference. We are writing legislation, and when you're writing legislation, you have to be specific, and this took us a long way to a framework, House of Reps Speaker Nancy Pelosi then said. We'll get more estimates as to how much money comes in on certain things, but we know that we can cover the proposals that the president has put forth, she said. The announcement comes as the White House and the Democrats from the House and Senate try to overcome differences between moderates and progressives over Biden's proposed $3.5 trillion social spending agenda, which Democrats hope to pass without Republican help through a parliamentary process known as budget reconciliation. And everybody's familiar with Gabby Petito, right? We broke news for you saying that she was found to be dead of homicide. She actually was killed, and right now the police are calling her fiance a person of interest who has been missing, and the exhaustive search for slain travel blogger Gabby Petito's fiance in a vast Florida wilderness entered a sixth day on Thursday as the mystery deepened around a case that has engrossed Americans. A team of divers joined police and FBI agents using boats and helicopters looking for Brian Laundrie in the alligator-infested Carlton Reserve again on Thursday morning, a spokesman said. As of Wednesday night, he said that they had nothing to show for their efforts so far. Authorities have not said why they are convinced Laundrie, whom police call a person of interest in this case, may still be somewhere inside more than 24,000 acre, that's about 9,700 hectare wilderness preserve near his home in Northport, Florida, more than a week after he told family members that he was headed there to hike alone. So if you want to get more information about that too, you can go to mediamahima.com. But let's tell you, Banujan, let's come over to the local area and talk a little bit about issues that are happening here. One desperate California school district is sending flyers home in students' lunch boxes telling parents that it's now hiring. Elsewhere, principals are filling in as crossing guards, teachers are being offered signing bonuses, and schools are moving back to online learning. Now that schools have welcomed students back to classrooms, they face a new challenge, a huge shortage of teachers and staff, the likes of which some districts say they have never ever seen before.
Wow.
Yeah, public schools have struggled for years with teacher shortages, particularly in math, science, special education, and languages. But the coronavirus pandemic has exacerbated this problem. The stress of teaching in the COVID-19 era has triggered a spike in retirements and resignations. The schools also need to hire staffers like tutors, special aides to make up for learning losses, and more teachers to run online school for those who are not ready to return to school.
Oh my God, Falta, did you know actually one more status, Banuja, if you didn't know about that, unemployment all over actually has increased almost multifold from 16,000 to 300,000 actually. The claims have gone up last week. And by the way, also one more place where shortage actually is concerning to me rather, Faltarani, is ever since Biden ordered 17 million health workers to get COVID vaccine, some of these people don't want to get the vaccine. So nurses are in a shortage right now.
Right.
Because hospitals have asked them to stay home.
Correct.
Some of them actually have been fired also, by the way, as if they were fired doesn't like let go because, or rather asked not to come to work because they're not vaccinated. So basically, it is, I don't know what's going to happen. Why people are not taking the vaccination, I don't understand. But, well, I do understand. I do get it. They have their own beliefs. So.
You know, the other scary part, Altu Baba, is that this is in every school district that, I mean, you know that I'm involved in some of these different special advocacy programs, right? Special ed advocacy. In some major school districts, and you're right here in the San Francisco Bay Area, right? A lot of these school districts are struggling with teachers in special education, meaning they have such a huge shortage. And even with regard to paraeducators and behavior interventionists, they're not able to find people who are able to offer support in this area. So it is a conundrum, like Vibha is saying on Facebook. That's true. It is a huge conundrum that a lot of us are having to face right now. But other than that, let's also go on over and tell you about this other case where there's the Elizabeth Holmes trial that's going on. Dramatic text messages were front and center on Wednesday, on another day of Elizabeth Holmes' trial. Revealing these text messages was part of the prosecution's efforts to show that Holmes knew what was going on at Theranos even as things were falling apart.
She knew. Why? They still think they didn't know. Benefit of doubt, I suppose, probably.
Yeah. About 12,000 text messages sent between Holmes and former Theranos executive Sunny Balwani were extracted from phones and computers, including one where Balwani referred to a Theranos lab with an expletive as a disaster zone. Yeah. Other text messages showed Holmes express concern that a Wall Street Journal reporter was showing up to see this particular lab as well. So you can catch up on that story too shortly. And speaking of how cover-ups worked, after 18 months on the job, Good Sam Hospital CMO Dr. Klaus Thaler will be stepping down from his position in October. The pending departure comes after the investigative unit also confirmed another executive, Associate Chief Nursing Officer Damien Gulbranson, recently left her position at Good Sam after 11 months. In a statement to NBC, the hospital spokesperson said Good Sam Hospital does not discuss personnel issues, but the intensity of the pandemic during the past year and a half has made it common for healthcare professionals to reevaluate their life priorities, choosing to spend more time with their loved ones rather than furthering their careers. Also, a whistleblower. After months of investigating this week, the Department of Justice issued a damning report saying the San Jose State University botched an investigation into a sports trainer accused of sexually assaulting more than 20 student athletes at San Jose State University. The report has also found that the university retaliated against employees who tried to protect the victims. Now, one of the critical whistleblowers who was fired for speaking up is sharing his story with the news media. A woman guilty of second-degree murder in a Livermore DUI crash that killed 2 people. A woman who was driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol in Livermore when she lost control of her SUV, killing 2 of her passengers, has pleaded no contest to murder charges. She faces 15 years to life in prison, authorities said on Wednesday. Lauren Davis, who has a history of driving under the influence, entered her pleas Monday to 2 counts of second-degree murder in the 2017 deaths of Violet Campbell, who was 16 years old, and Alexis Garcia, 25 years old, Alameda County District Attorney Nancy O'Malley said. And the Richmond BART station has been closed after a death was reported on their tracks. There is no suspected foul play at this particular point in time, but you could get more information about that. And the Oakland Unified School Board has approved a vaccine mandate for all students. The measure was passed in a 5-1 vote, the newspaper reported. That was international and local news, Altubaba. In terms of international news, probably you'll have to go to Media Mahima to check out what's going on internationally as well. But
that's right, Barajan. Of course, right now it's time for us to give you the Gane Kira and sign off, right, Faltwani?
yes, absolutely.
Is that what we're going to be doing?
Yes.
And right now, Barajan, the Gane Kira lined up for you is a beautiful song, a motivational kind of a song, Barajan. From the movie Sanju, in the voice of Sukhwinder Singh and Shreya Ghoshal, Barajan. Music by Vikram Montrose and lyrics by Shekhar Astitwa. A beautiful movie, actually adaptation of the biopic of Sanju Dada, Sanjay Dutt, starring our Ranbir Kapoor.
कर हर मैदान फतेह ओ बंदिया कर हर मैदान फतेह घायल बनता है
Hey guys, it's Ranbir Kapoor and you're listening to me on Radio D Hotties with Kaltu Baba and Faltu Rani, where entertainment just got hotter.